Speaking of young quarterbacks, J.J. McCarthy in Minnesota, the hope is to get him back on the practice field this week and in line to start coming off the bye. Problem is, we don't know if he's fully healthy yet. We don't know if Carson Wentz is fully healthy. He got banged up ahead of the bye. So what the Vikings are saying now is they have to see who's healthy and make a decision about who can play. If everyone's healthy, they still plan to go back to J.J. McCarthy.
Interesting. That is interesting. So I'd absolutely love to know the real information here, because the Vikings are going to want to try to play this game where they don't want the Eagles to know, is it JJ, is it Carson? This is obviously an important game for both teams right now. Big game for both teams. And if you know you're starting Carson Wentz, then this is going to be a team that could really rally behind Carson, wanting to give him the big win against his old team, the Philadelphia Eagles, etc., etc. I talk about this all the time, how teams and coaching staffs love to rally behind things like that. We've seen it again and again and again. We saw it even with the Minnesota Vikings and Sam Darnold in moments, and so that's something that you can really go off of. And so if the Vikings actually don't know who they're going to start quite yet, you lose that effect. And it's a real effect. It's a real emotional effect that I'm telling you, you rally behind. But if they actually do know and they're confident, hey, this is what we're going with, but we just kind of want to play this, we don't know type of thing to kind of keep it more confusing for the Philadelphia Eagles, because now it's more difficult for them to plan and scheme. It'll be interesting. So I'm fascinated to see if they end up starting J.J. McCarthy. I'd find that very fascinating. I really would. I'd find that really interesting, especially considering how the Philadelphia Eagles have been playing. And so if you just right now, if another team is looking at the Eagles, they're thinking, hey, if we just have competent, average, just decent enough quarterback play, we should come away with a win here, right? Or the other side you can look at is, hey, this team's not playing that well. Like, we have some wiggle room to have a quarterback make some mistakes or, go through some development aspects of their game. So I'm fascinated. It's just we obviously just don't fully have the information. You get whispers here and there, but we don't actually know. Like, this is what Kevin O'Connell said. There's no mystery here. It's really not that. I hope people understand. It's a little more real than that. It's a little bit more me trying to do what's best for our team, but also this player is very important to me, and I feel obligated to make sure I always am doing the things to help him stay on the path to where we think he's going as a player and why we brought him here. Any chance fans won't know who the starting quarterback is until Sunday? No, I don't think so, O'Connell answered. Look, we got out on the practice field yesterday, and it was a lighter workload compared to what it'll be Wednesday when we put the pads on and have a full session. You're talking a significant amount of time as we prepare our team, but also work through allowing these guys to get the reps that they need, both JJ and Carson, to get them both ready. Also understanding they're both not 100% healthy, and they're working through their individual things. How quickly McCarthy reacclimates to the offense may be the deciding factor for O'Connell. The longer it takes O'Connell to announce this week's starter, the better odds might be for McCarthy. I don't know if I agree with that last sentence. That seems just a strong opinion. I'm not saying I disagree with it, but that's just, I don't know if there's evidence for that, because I think Kevin O'Connell can very much be just being like, I'm not telling the Eagles who we're starting, when, why, and how. Like, they don't need to know that information until the last second. Teams do that all the time. When Jordan Love was injured last year, and there was kind of like, is it going to be Malik Willis? Is it going to be Jordan Love? Matt LaFleur was kind of like, yeah, Jordan Love's looking really good, blah, blah, blah. And it was like, he had no chance to play. I remember making a whole video about it. We were like, Jordan Love's not playing in this game, and he didn't. So you don't know. There's no actual reliable way to predict this. And I don't even want to kind of keep going in circles with the whole, should McCarthy play? Should Carson play? I think the way how this season is going right now and facing the Eagles, like if we look at our schedule right here, it's interesting because you got the Eagles and you got the Chargers. and then you got the Lions. It's a tough stretch here. The Eagles are the biggest question mark because we just don't know who they are as a team right now. They could either be great and a true top team in the NFL, or they could be collapsing and firing their offensive coordinator. And Nick Sirianni, even though he just won a Super Bowl, could be back on the hot seat. And everyone could be complaining about Jalen Hurts and saying that he doesn't see the field and blah, 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 blah. So you don't know. Or they could be out there wheeling and dealing, being physical, tough, and back to championship form. There's really no strong way to know one way or the other. The Chargers, also a little bit of a roll of the dice team. Are they getting healthier? Their O-line should be getting a little bit healthier. Khalil Mack should be coming back. Like, this team, if they were healthy, would also be a top team in the NFL, but they got decimated with injuries, especially their O-line. Herbert made some magic against the Miami Dolphins, but that was a game that they could have lost, but they pulled it off. Credit to them. And then, of course, you're back to the division rival, the Detroit Lions, who, no matter how great or not great they are this year, will still be a battle to the end. So you got a fascinating 3-game stretch here. And the problem is on one side, it's like, all right, if JJ is healthy and he's back, do you throw him back out there against Philadelphia? Let's find a way. Maybe it goes right, maybe it goes wrong. I don't know. Do you go with the more sure thing where you know at least where the floor is with Carson? But then if he beats the Eagles, he's now won a bunch of games. He's now played successfully in a bunch of games. And now you're like, all right, now that JJ's even healthier and really caught up to speed, now we're going to throw him into the Chargers. Or now we're going to throw him against the Lions. You're just, it gets tricky. And I think Kevin O'Connell's genuinely kind of like, I think deep down, Kevin O'Connell just wants the decision to be made for him in terms of like injury. Carson just can't go. JJ just can't go, right? One quarterback is just healthier than the other. One can start, the other can't. And just leaving it like that, because I think it is actually genuinely a tough situation. I really, really do. Especially if Carson Wentz goes out and beats the Philadelphia Eagles. Like, are you going to start JJ against the Chargers? You're going to start him against the Lions? Let's say then they lose to the Chargers. Then you're just going to throw JJ up against a division rival, against the Detroit Lions? Like, that's a tough spot to throw him in on the road. Like, that's not easy. That's asking a lot in that moment. Granted, that Lions defense is banged up, and so, okay, there's some doors there, and then if you throw a JJ out where he isn't fully caught up to speed, but Carson can't go, or just JJ is healthy enough and is up to speed, and he's like, come on, we're going to throw JJ out there, and the Eagles return to form, and that defense is back. They're angry. They're frustrated that they just lost 2 games, and they want to get back to their prime, back to their championship form. Like, there's just a lot of ways it could go. A lot of ways it could go. And in a lot of ways, you kind of got to stick the landing. I feel bad for the Minnesota Vikings because it just feels that no matter what they do, just ends up being the wrong decision, especially if they don't win. No matter what, no matter what happens, if there's a loss, there's just blame. This team right now isn't allowed to just lose. Yeah, we lost the game. It's no, we made a mistake. That's what it turns into. I kind of said this before. Every time Carson Wentz throws an interception or takes a sack, or anytime J.J. McCarthy takes a sack, fumble, interception, whatever, normal, everyday football stuff that happens, overthrows someone, underthrows someone, everyone's automatically thinking, would the other quarterback have done better in that situation? And I promise you, the players are thinking it too, and so is the coaching staff. They are. Everyone's wrestling with it right now. I promise you. If you think it's clearly defined in that locker room who they want to be the quarterback, who they believe will put them in the best possible situation to win, I'm not so sure of that answer. And if anything, the veterans, the people that have been around the block once or twice, probably at a surface level feel more comfortable with Carson. And that's why it's up to the coaching staff to figure out, well, is that the reality of the moment? Is that actually what puts this team in the best position to win, especially in the long term? So it is the definition of a juggling act, of a balancing act. Like, there's a lot here. And now, again, you got both quarterbacks who are semi-banged up and not fully healthy. And, again, what that officially means, what that officially looks like, especially for Carson, who at least obviously played and didn't miss time, I have no idea. And so, yeah, it's going to be interesting. I'll say that. It's going to be interesting against the Philadelphia Eagles. We can guarantee that. Win, lose, or draw, it's not going to be boring. It's not going to be boring. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about the Minnesota Vikings? JJ McCarthy coming back to practice. Carson Wentz being banged up. Who would you start against the Philadelphia Eagles right now? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment, so whether you agree with me or disagree with me. Either way, let's get in some discussions. Let's get in some fights. But ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here, and I absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to. Something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.